Welcome to Acumen Business Spotlight. I'm Mike Colosimo, your host, and I'm pleased to be joined by Christine Tallgren, co-host of the A Touch of Pink event held on November 19th. Christine, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thanks. Thanks for being on the show. Tell us a little bit about the event and what we can expect.
Well, the Touch of Pink really says it all. So we are affiliated with Susan G. Komen, and it's going to be a fashion show, and it's going to be the New York style fashion show, but we're going to have real women, diverse women, all shapes, sizes, and culture.
Oh,
so,
great. Now,
yeah.
how did this event come to fruition? How did you?
Well, you know what, it's interesting. So a co-founder of Dimension Sounds Production, she basically really kind of had this idea, or came to me with this idea. So basically her husband came to her and said, hey, you know what, she's very shy, why don't you put on a fashion show? I know you're a person that's really in the background at the production facility, but you know what, you have the means to pull this all together. And so she thought about it and really wanted to, you know, instead of just giving back with the fashion show, she wanted to really give back to the community. And what more than breast cancer awareness? It is October.
Mm-hmm. No, it's terrific. And if folks wanted to assist with the event, do you obviously have some more needs, or is there a way we could help?
Absolutely. You know, we're always in need of auction items. So any auction items, all proceeds, again, are going to go to Susan G. Komen. This is really to bring that awareness, because breast cancer is preventative, and it's in men as well as women. So bringing that awareness, so really the auction items would be very, very helpful in raising more money so we can bring more awareness.
Oh, terrific. Assistance with volunteers, or?
No, we're really great on the volunteers.
Okay.
It's really just getting those auction items.
Okay, terrific.
So,
and where is this event held?
This is at Nick and Eddie, and that's downtown Minneapolis.
Okay. And Nick and Eddie's, and it's on the 19th of November.
Correct.
And how can a person get more info, more ticket information? How could we obtain that info?
Sure. There's a couple different ways. Nick and Eddie is actually selling tickets, so all the way up until November 19th. Okay. Also, Electric Fetus and vitalculture.com. You can go online.
Oh, terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit more about the event itself. So there's a fashion show. What else is entailed in the evening?
We're going to have the silent auction items going off all evening. So, you know, basically you can fill out and, bid on some of the prizes. We're going to have, obviously, the fashion show. We're going to have, it's all local-based talent. So from the more Meredith, Privilege, the talent for models and agency.
And those are all local agencies?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
Great,
correct.
Great.
So we're going to have local talent. We're going to have also some local designers, and we're also going to have some non-local designers, but definitely high fashion. We're going to have a couple of special guests, actually breast cancer survivors, actually in the show as well. So which will be really exciting.
Oh, great.
For us.
That sounds like a great event. Thank you so much for being on with us today on Acumen Business Spotlight. If you'd like more information on this event, you can contact Natasha Kimbrough at 612-275-5453 or email her at info@dimensionsounds.com. When we come back, we'll be talking to Tim Jopp of Legacy Benefits Consulting. Welcome back to Acumen Business Spotlight. I am pleased to be joined by Tim Jopp, founder and owner of Legacy Benefit Consulting. Tim, how are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. We're going to talk about Medicare today.
Yeah, we are.
Tell us a little bit about Medicare. What is Medicare?
You know, Medicare is a government program developed for the nation's aged to help provide financial benefits for health-related occurrences. So, big statement there. So really what that means is it helps pay for hospital stays, preventative care, physician visits, and also prescription drug.
Okay, and when did Medicare start?
You know, Medicare started back in 1965. The president signed it into law back then, and obviously, as we know, it's evolved since then.
Okay. And are there different levels of Medicare?
Yeah, you know, Mike, really there's 4 different parts to Medicare. There's Medicare Part A, which is your inpatient hospital services. Then you've got Part B, which is your outpatient services, kind of like your physician visits. And then you've got Part C, which is your Medicare Advantage. And then your 4th part is Part D, which is your prescription drug programs.
Okay, so 4 different sections. So with that being said, there's probably cost variations or costs to Medicare?
There can be. The biggest thing there is if you or your spouse has worked 40 quarters in your lifetime, actually Part A is free. There's no cost for Part A. Part B, there is a monthly cost of $115.40. Part C and D, there is a cost there. It just depends on what company and program you pick determines that premium.
Okay. So when should a person enroll in Medicare?
Yeah, good question. You've got a timetable of about 7 months to enroll. So what that means is 3 months before the month of your 65th birthday, you can enroll. The month of your birthday you can enroll, and then also 3 months after the month of your birthday you can enroll. So you've got a 7-month window there to enroll. Gives you enough time to get enrolled into the Medicare program.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and this is a big topic for your firm right now. Can you talk a little bit about how your involvement?
Yeah. You know, the reason this is a big topic is this is the time when people are looking at what other options they've got, where they're at with their Medicare plan. Is the plan they're on the right one for them? So this time of the year is when the big enrollment period is.
Okay, gotcha. So now to the end of the year, or?
You know, it depends. Now to the end of the year is a big time, but it also depends on what kind of a Medicare plan they're on. Mm-hmm. Some people can switch their plans throughout the year. They don't have to wait till this open enrollment period.
Okay.
So it depends on what plan and program they're on, mm-hmm. and that's something we help them with.
Okay, and for me, this helps tremendously. You have to be 65 to enroll in Medicare.
Yeah, it's not cut and dry at 65. Okay. There are other reasons you can be on Medicare, but the majority of the people are 65 that are on, or older that are on the Medicare program.
So what you're saying, Tim, is right now is the time to research or get involved with Medicare.
Yeah, this is one of the busier times of the year, so now is a perfect time to look at what you have and should we be researching other options for you.
Great. Thank you so much for being on the show today. If you'd like more information on Medicare, contact Tim at 952-922-5677, or you can reach him at lbconline.biz. When we come back, we'll be talking to our friends from Buff & Cote. Welcome back to Acumen Business Spotlight. I'm pleased to be joined by Amanda Pemrick, Office Manager with Buff & Cote Hardwood Floor Renewal. Amanda, how are you today?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Well, thanks. Thanks for coming back and joining us. Talk to us about Buff & Cote. What is Buff & Cote?
Well, a Buff & Cote is a renewal process that gets out the minor surface scratches and scuffs of everyday wear and tear on the floor and adds a new layer of protection.
Okay, and what are the differences between your process and a traditional sand?
A traditional sand gets into the grain of the wood. It can create a very dusty mess, and a Buff & Cote gets into just the surface, does not get into the grain of the wood, which allows us to be dustless, odorless, and done in one day, and a resand can take many days and cost thousands of dollars.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, and can all jobs be completed in a day, or?
It just depends. It just varies on the situation of the floor.
Okay, and can you talk a little bit about that, or some quick variations to?
There might be a floor that is more damaged underneath into the grain of the wood that may result in a resand, and there are other floors where they are minor scuffs and scratches that we can get out with the buffing machine.
Okay, gotcha. And the price difference between your traditional sand and Buff & Cote is astronomical, is that?
That is correct.
Okay.
It can be almost thousands of dollars of a difference.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. So what other services does Buff & Cote provide?
Well, we do offer the full resand. We offer floor cleanings, furniture moving, spot repairs. Basically any request that you may have that we think we can do for your floors, we will certainly try to do that for you.
Oh, terrific. And can this process be done in a commercial setting?
Yes, this is actually a great process for commercial because we can come in, do the job overnight. You don't have to shut down during your business hours, and when you're ready to reopen in the morning, your floors will be ready to go, ready for the traffic.
Okay. We've talked about this before, but do you have to do the entire floor, or are there just sections, or what do you recommend from a restoration standpoint?
Again, it can vary depending on the floor situation. You know, if we are only allowed to do half the floor, we can certainly do half the floor, but our customers need to know that the sheen is going to look very different from the floor that's not finished. So we do recommend that you do the whole area so that you're getting that beautiful, lustrous look back to the floor.
Terrific. Okay. And you have some franchising opportunities?
We do. It's a great way, a very inexpensive way to start your own business. It can be very difficult, so there's a lot of benefits to owning a franchise.
Oh, great. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us again. If you'd like more information on Buff & Cote, you can contact them at 612-379-2833 or visit them on the web at buffandcote.com. Thanks for joining Acumen Business Spotlight. We'll see you again real soon.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of the Acumen Business Spotlight, a presentation of Acumen Business Solutions. For more information on how you can be a guest on the Acumen Business Spotlight or how Acumen can assist with your company's bottom line focus, call 612-790-4096 or visit acumenbusinesssolutions.com.